All right, welcome back everybody. 9:15. We would like to introduce you to Mr. Luke Peterson. He is 11 years old and Oklahoma's kid governor. He has been advocating on issues like foster care, childhood hunger, education. Well, this morning he joins us with Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin to talk about issues affecting children. It is so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for being here, and as always,
good to see you again.
Good to see you, ma'am. Let's start with you, Luke. Tell me about your time as kid governor and how you came to be the governor.
Well, I'm just starting out as being kid governor, and I'm super excited to get started, and it's just a super cool opportunity, and I'm excited to do as much as I can during my time.
And what things do you care most about?
I care most about the problems that children face, and I want to make them aware. I want to make these problems aware, make these people aware about problems, and I just want to help kids across Oklahoma.
And who better to listen to, you know, than a kid who's seeing some of these things yourself. And Governor, what do you think about Luke and this role, this kid governor role that we have in Oklahoma?
You know, I think having a kid governor for the state of Oklahoma is a very important role because he can have a lot of great influence with adults too, and including kids, as you talk about some of the challenges that children face in our state. And you'll be a good spokesperson for them to be able to be their voice at the Capitol, to educate our lawmakers, our legislators. And so we're very proud of him. It's a great program by the Institute of Child Advocacy and Sunbeam that sponsors this group.
Yes, you're an inspiration for so many people, and it's my understanding that you brought a list of questions yourself to ask Governor Fallin. So I'm going to give you the floor. So if you'd like to go ahead and ask her some of those pertinent questions I know you have.
Okay, thank you.
The floor is yours, Luke.
Well, one of the things I focus on as kid governor is highlighting the need for every kid to be in a home where they're safe and can feel loved. And I'm lucky enough to be in a home like that, but there are a lot of Oklahoma kids who aren't. Governor Fallin, can you talk about why that's important for kids and for our state?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking that platform. That is so important. And you know, Luke, we do have a lot of children in the state of Oklahoma since the beginning of time that have faced a lot of challenges with their family. We may have children that maybe have lost a parent, or maybe they have a parent that's maybe not quite as nice as they should be to them, or we may have parents that might be in prison for some type of reason. So in the state of Oklahoma, we've had about, during my term when I began, almost under 11,000 children who are in state custody because their parents weren't able to take care of them, or maybe they just didn't take care of them the way they should. Maybe they weren't in that safe home and had the food and the type of health care services that they need. So the state takes those children in and helps them get into a family that is safe, that can provide for their needs, and to make sure that they have a good education and have a good, at least a better quality of life than what they might have. So actually we started out with just a little under 11,000 children in state custody. Now we're down to 8,500. So we've had about a 21% reduction in the number of children that are having to go into state custody. So that's a good thing.
Fantastic.
Well, you helped launch OK Fosters, which helps every kid find a loving home. Can you tell us about that?
OK Fosters has been a great successful program, and you're right, Luke. You know, one of the things we've done, we've actually taken children who, in their pictures and their biography, and talked to families about, here's some really exceptional children that may be going through a little bit of a rough patch in life right now, but they're looking for a safe, loving home. And so we have parents and people, even single people, that are willing to step up and foster them, take them in temporarily, and give them that safe, loving home to be able to flourish and grow, and for the child to be able to reach their dreams too. So Oklahoma Fosters was about bringing a collaboration of people from across the state, both in nonprofit groups, faith-based groups, and just basically the education of Oklahomans, that here's some wonderful children that need someone to help them out. And we've been very successful in that. We set a goal a couple of years ago when we launched Oklahoma Fosters of signing up an additional 1,000 new families every single year to take care of these children, and we beat that goal every year because we've had so many Oklahomans willing to help.
Amazing. Amazing questions. Do you have one more for her? We have probably time for one more question from you.
How many foster families are needed currently?
Now, that's a great question. We actually have need for about 900 foster families right now, and we have about 600 children who are ready to be adopted. They've gone through all the paperwork, they've kind of exhausted their options, and they're ready to be adopted out into a loving permanent home for them. And so we need to keep telling people, look, there's some great children out there, and there's a lot of great families like yours or others that have adopted or fostered children, and it's a wonderful thing to do. It's really an uplifting thing. All the foster parents I talk to always tell me what a great experience it is.
Well, Luke, I'd say you did your homework. Those were amazing questions.
You did great.
Come back here
Fantastic.
anytime. You can interview anybody on this 9 o'clock show that you want to. And if you would stick around for one more segment, Luke, do you have any last words for maybe other kids who could be kid governor one day?
Well, I just like to say to any kid who'd like to be kid governor, there's always an opportunity to help out. And you can volunteer anytime you want, and just be interested in what kids are thinking and kids' opinions, and just think about all those kids out there that don't have very much and kids that are in need.
Keep others in mind. Such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Love you. And we'll stick around
Congratulations, Luke.
with you for one more segment.